freedom fighters and all members of parliament of the EFF. Speaker, allow me to first express my condolences to the families of the EFF's June 16 battalion, which passed away tragically in Freight following our commemorations of June 16. To fighters Bongakonge Mate, fighter Ndombi Ndlovu, fighter Lungani Sunday Mbata, Pumlani Zulu, fighter Thokozani Mashazi, Ayanda Kumala, Kwalisile Sibisi, fighter Manqelo Siboniso, fighter Tutukani Dube, fighter Siyanda Twala, we say rest in revolutionary peace as you died on the picket lines. Let me also express my appreciation and commendation of the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, for developing the testicular fortitude to remove the Deputy Minister of the DA, who was ineffective and incompetent. And long may these removals continue. Speaker, so the Money Bills Act stipulates that the Division of Revenue Bill must be in line with fiscal framework. And we have long labored as the EFF that the budget process has been characterized by deceit. And this deceit is twofold. This is deceptive consultations that made an impression that there will be alternative revenue generation mechanisms which will be included in the budget, and we do not see them anywhere today. Furthermore, deceptions in terms of three ring-fenced options of austerity, borrowing, and strategic tax adjustments, which were the rationale for the generation mechanisms in the first version of this budget. The minister has now implemented all three of these things: austerity through numerical cuts and below inflation allocations to all departments. He has now implemented borrowing through a 1.5 billion loan from the World Bank, and he has also implemented tax adjustments through the fuel levy. Now, as the EFF, we have now introduced the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, which will restrict reckless and irresponsible borrowing from financial institutions globally, because there must be an authority of parliament that guides all loans which are conducted. House Chairperson, the EFF rejects the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill as proposed by the Minister of Finance and agreed to by the Democratic Alliance, Action SA, Rise Mzansi, and BOSA, led by Honorable Maimane, who is also the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Appropriations, because that committee has failed to fulfill its constitutional mandate. Before we deal with the contents of the bill, let us remind the people of South Africa of what took place not so long ago. When we were processing the Division of Revenue Bill that had to be withdrawn because the Minister of Finance lost the VAT court case, the committee had resolved to amend the bill, and Honorable Maimane will remember this. We had agreed that more than half of the 257 municipalities are in financial distress, with 20% of them not financially viable at all. That means they're unable to meet even the most basic obligations required to deliver services. We had agreed that for far too long, the assumption that municipalities will collect sufficient revenue to fund service delivery is false and not sustainable. The majority of our people are unemployed. The economy is stagnant, racial inequality continues to deepen, and we have more than 12 million people without work, 12 million people with no ability to pay for services, even if they wanted to. We had also agreed that the growing number of indigent households, many of whom are not even registered for indigent support, deserve automatic and unconditional access to free water, free sanitation, and free electricity. We also questioned why the National Treasury has reduced indirect grants to municipalities. Why allocate only 61 billion in direct and indirect infrastructure grants when studies and reality show that municipalities need over 122 billion? More importantly, we had agreed that there is merit which demonstrates that the deliberate underfunded mandates across all categories of municipalities are reckless and irresponsible. We had a consensus, we had a plan, we even agreed on a way forward to amend the bill and increase allocations to municipalities that are collapsing in front of our eyes. As the EFF, we made written and oral submissions to the committee. We participated in what we believe to be genuine democratic processes that will reflect the will of the people. We propose that allocations to municipalities should increase from 9.5% to 14%. This would increase the local government to 8.4 billion. We were specific about where the money should come from. We propose funds must be reallocated from non-essential expenditure such as ministerial imbizos, provincial events, excessive travel, catering, inflated consultancy fees, and the corrupt tender system that has become a source of looting. We emphasize that education and health must not be touched. These are essential services, services that serve the poor and the working class who cannot afford private schools or private hospitals. The committee resolved that the proposals should be assessed by the Parliamentary Budget Office so that an objective analysis could guide decision-making. Honorable Maimane, the chairperson of this committee, himself proposed that we consider SALGA's model of equitable share split. We welcomed this proposal. It was a moment of political maturity and collective commitment to finding common ground. We had an opportunity to make a difference, to amend the bill and give our people water, sanitation, roads, refuse collection, and dignity. We had an opportunity to end sewage leakages in Diepsloot, in Alexandra, in Nyanga, in Kayamnandi, where the Democratic Alliance governs in Umlazi, in Tembisa, and Orange Farm in Soweto. But all of that was ignored just because the so-called government of national unity had already agreed to maintain the status quo, even though it was not working. Parliament has thus been reduced to a rubber stamping exercise. We are now presented with a bill that offers no solution to the fundamental challenges of local government. It is a copy and paste of failures. The equitable share formula has remained rigid, outdated, and fails to respond to the current needs of our people. It continues to favor historically advantaged municipalities and ignores those deliberately underdeveloped by apartheid and neglected by democracy. There's no urgency in this bill, no emergency plan to intervene in dysfunctional municipalities, no special allocation for collapsing rural towns where raw sewage flows into rivers, where people walk for kilometers to collect water from a borehole shared with livestock. There's no consideration of youth of this country, young people who could be employed through municipal programs. This bill is a betrayal of the working class, and we reject it as such. Thank you.